Hey guys, and welcome to Rslash Nuclear Revenge. Yes, today we are going to be doing an Rslash. Proud of me yet? So, sorry I'm chewing. In this nuclear revenge, I formed a team and sent a rapist to jail. Be proud of yourself. Alright, kiddos, prepare yourself for one hell of a story here. Just a warning, this might be triggers in some ears as it contains stories about depression and sexual assault. You've been warned. That's right. If you don't like these topics, please click off this video because I'm not stopping for you. Sorry. Anyways, this story happened about 2 years ago and it still haunts me to this day. I was a sophomore year in a high school. I was in my sophomore year of high school. I hadn't even turned 16 yet. That's sad. I was your average teenager. I was in a band, fangirled about TV shows, books and movies. I never really stood out. I was a bigger girl, and I was bullied occasionally, so any attention I got wasn't from my friends. It was usually negative. In my first period Spanish class, I was friends with everyone at my table. There was Scott, not his real name, of course, who was kind and didn't speak much. There was Mark, Jared, and Jake, also not their real names. These three were like three stooges. They always made me laugh, and I honestly thought of them as my brothers. Then there was Darian, the biggest asshole known to man. That's not a good word. The biggest a-hole known to man. I'm just going to highlight words that are bad. At this time, I wasn't aware of it. He was taller than me, 6'1", but which was a bit unusual. I'm a girl, 5'10". That's nice. Now that I look back on it, he wasn't very attractive, but he actually showed interest in me. So I put appearances aside. He seemed caring and broken inside. I'm a sucker for broken people. I've always loved to help them and make them feel better. It's just my nature. Darren and I flirted over Snapchat for about a month and a half during the time we talked. He confessed to me that he had a sex addict. What the heck? Are we sure this is okay? He was a sex addict. It says right there. I didn't really believe him, and I didn't care. I was an asexual, no sexual feelings towards people. I was an asexual outcast who was just very desperate for attention. He gave me his hoodie. Wait, what? Where did I find my line? Oh, he gave me his hoodie and was so sweet to me. He walked me to class and sent me cute texts every morning and night. I was on Cloud 9! Cloud 9 is a drug. Why do people use that? But it didn't last. Oh no. In the early days of April, half the kids in my class were doing state mandated test. Mandated? Sorry, I'm really bad at reading words. So they weren't there. 1/4 of people in school were taking it. So it was vertically our free day in our classes. In Spanish, I sat next to Darren as usual, pulled out a laptop and played a game. It was actually a 2-player game, so we played for a bit, but then gave up. So I was trying to be innocent. No, wait. I was trying to control both characters on my own, which wasn't that hard. I felt like I placed his hand on my knee. I felt him place his hand on my knee. It was innocent, but it didn't strike anything bad. Then he pulled his other hand on my back. Again, I didn't see anything wrong. Then his moved hand to the lower button, down to my butt. He kept squeezing and smacking it like it was a damn stress ball. Not okay. I told him to stop, and he even moved away from him, so he would have to. After the third time of me telling him to stop, he finally died. I thought it was over, but boy, I was wrong. Nobody needs to see this. Then he placed his hand on my knee again. He did so often I forgot about it and continued to play the game. Then his hand started moving up to my thigh. I grabbed his wrist and pulled it away, whispering him to stop. Stop! There was only about 9 people in the room at the time, so it was nearly silent and free of muffled voices. As soon as I let go of his hand, he moved it back to where it was and started to go further up my thigh. Then he started squeezing my thigh and started to, and closer to, well, I never wanted to be touched. He wouldn't stop. I wanted to vomit, scream for help, or run. I was frozen. I looked around the room, and the boys at my table were intensely pleading to look over and see what was happening to me. Luckily, the bell rang to assist us to the next class. I didn't even bother putting the laptop or logging out of it. I grabbed my bag and sprinted the hell out of there. Damn, girl! Just break up with him. Are you two even dating or something? You said you guys were flirting together. Are you dating? I got to my next class in record time and sat at my desk. I was in a catatonic state. I was cold and numb. The sound of his snickering and prideful giggles kept ringing in my ears and making me sick. Well then, when class started, I said nothing to my friends around me. I wasn't close with them, but they knew me well enough to know something was wrong. I grabbed my phone and texted out with my closest friends all the time. I told them to meet me by the bathroom. I had left class to go to the bathroom. I found them there waiting for me. I threw myself onto him, just ducking sobbed for 5 minutes. He was so confused. It wasn't until he pried me off that I finally gave him an answer. I think I was just molested. Saying it out loud made me even more nauseous. I explained everything to him when I watched his face went from pale to shocked to red with anger. He was livid. Damn. I've never seen him so angry before. I told him not to do anything and asked what to do. He told me to tell a teacher immediately and to report him. I nodded and told him I would, but my dumbass didn't tell anyone about that moment for another 2 months. Why does this look like me? Luckily, a week after the accident, Derek got expelled and sent to an alternate school for drinking on campus. I was much relieved that I didn't have to see him every day. It was still nightmares and pains occasionally, but it was much easier there without him. I had only told a few close friends who promised to let me handle it. I thought it was all going to be underwater like that bridge until one morning I saw his back task at my table in Spanish. My stomach did an Olympic gymnastics floor routine inside of me. Me! My entire body just went cold. One of the boys at my table, Jared, who I had told everything to, looked at me with fear and sadness. He could just look at the colors of my face and knew what I was feeling. Set my bag down and ran to my safe place, Miss M's room. She was my freshman year biology teacher. She was more like a big sister to me. Seeing it was only 27, I walked in. She immediately knew something was wrong. We walked in the science closet and I told her everything. She was the first adult I told. Not even my parents knew. Her face was red with anger. I could see her clenching her fist. She hugged me tightly and took me down to the counselor's office. She didn't leave my side for almost an hour. She missed half of her class because she was with me. Everyone needed Miss M. Everyone needs a Miss M in their lives. I had a Miss D who was almost exactly like that. She was so helping. She was the best teacher ever. My counselor was dumbfounded by everything she told her. She called the assistant principal and the police officer at our school. I gave the officer my statement. I told him to write it down in full detail. I went to the assistant principal, threw up a grand total of 3 times whilst giving my statement. Damn. The first class I actually went for the day. It was 4th period, and I spent the first 3 hours of the day in the office. The hard part came where I had to tell my parents. I sat down in the hallway and called my mom. She could hear me crying. She'd asked what was wrong. I told her everything without stopping for her to talk. It took about 10 minutes. She was silent before she said, "Oh, sweetie, I'm sorry you had to go through that all alone." She asked if I had told Dad, which I said no, which I made her do it. I couldn't go through it again. We called the police and asked them to press charges. They told us to contact the officer at our school. Since it was nearly the end of the school year, all they did was move into another class. That was it. No expulsion, no suspension, no jail time for molesting me. I would slap these teachers. And Mamma Mia, get the chandelier. I didn't hear about him for a long time. The rest of my sophomore year and the summer before the junior year was rough for me. I went through a massive wave of depression. I lost about 30 pounds from not eating. Jesus, woman! I wasn't starving myself or anything. I just didn't feel motivated to go downstairs and get some food. I already suffer from depression, anxiety, and PSD. And PTSD. I'm going to Google that later and put it in the description. So, recent developments certainly weren't helping. I just felt so worthless. My friends and family became my strongest support system. God knows I needed them. I suffered a lot through junior year. I nearly went to a psychiatric hospital twice, but it got better and grew on from that. I'm doing so much better now. I cut off the toxic people in my life, and holy poop, I feel so much better now. Soon it's my turn for senior year. I have learned multiple things during the summer. One of them was my best friend's Liz, not her real name. What? Had dated Darren multiple times before my incident and knew he was abusive. He had left bruises on her the same way he did to me. Bruises on my thigh and butt from the squeezing. Yeet. The fight she and I had was massive, but that's not the point. She was on my side. I forgave her for not warning me, because she was just as petrified as I was, it turns out. Two of Lizzie's friends, Lee and Tim, have also been molested by Darian. Through them, I found out another girl in my Spanish class, Maria, had suffered the same as well. There were 5 victims. Needless to say, we wanted revenge, and boy did we get it. Not until the first day of Lizzie and I's senior year. Is this finally where the revenge comes? My throat hurts. Oh, God. Oh, it's almost the end. We had English together, so we were so excited. We had been sitting down talking. Darian strolled in through the door. Our mouths dropped at the same time. He had been out of our alternative school for drugs, fights, and alcohol. What is this? Shut up. Where did it? You made me lose my thing. Oh, there. But he was back now. Liz and I wouldn't stand for it. We immediately messaged our group chat with all the victims in it. Yeet. I can't tell if that was a yawn or a moan.
I think it's a mixture of both. Ooh, can I have some of that cookie?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Seth's here now.
I was talking about you to a friend, and they were just like, oh. Yeah, it was great.
I need to continue.
I'm like, yeah, it's like, I like doing things.
Seth, I need to continue reading.
What?
I'm making a video, Seth.
Oh. Can I just quickly tell you this?
Can I pause my video?
Oops.
Sorry about that. He was back now. Liz and I wouldn't stand for it. We immediately messaged our group with all 5 of the victims in it. We told them he was back. No one was happy about it. My mom was livid. Was livid. We all were. As soon as we told them, Maka. It's supposed to be a Maria. Nope. That's that one of her friends, Lisa. We already know. Had already been raped by him a couple weeks ago. That added more fuel to our fire. Together, me, Liz, Taylor, Leah, and Maka. Maria had left school during to the incident. Okay, so that's not Maria. All went down to the counselor's office and explained everything. We wanted him out of our English class and out of our school and out of our lives. We knew we had to retell stories to the officer and school officials. We were all crying, literally sitting on the floor, hugging our knees. We had been physiologically messed up over this. It was time for revenge. That week followed, Darian had been expelled and sent to jail. He was 18 now, meaning as he could try to be an adult, he would not get easily with juvenile detention. Major league mess-ups could hit the major league punishment. Not only was he sent to jail, but the court ordered to never be within 50 foot of a female under the age of 18. His car was also searched. It had lots of drugs and weapons. Since it was on school property and a shotgun was found not licensed, he was in even more trouble. Now 10 months, he's still in jail. His father actually bailed him out and moved across state. He was caught a week later selling drugs to a 17-year-old girl. I don't think I would have to explain this, especially for him. He was sentenced 10 years in prison and illegal parole after 6 after his bail was $750,000. I wish his daddy luck on bailing him out this time. All 7 girls who were assaulted, including me, are doing so much better now. I've never spoke with Lisa, the girl who was raped, but I hear she's doing much better now. Liz has a wonderful boyfriend, so does Mikhail. Lee and Taylor, as much for me, are attending classes and living the best life. I don't have a partner. Turns out I'm queer. Well, we accept you. Who loves and accepts me for who I am. We are living our best lives. I'm not sure about the other girls, but I actually fall asleep with a smile on my face knowing that Darian will rot in jail for the next 6 years until he's eligible for parole. I actually have to thank Darian. He made me so much stronger, but to anyone leaving this who has suffered through sexual assault knows. Anyone who has, please say something. I'm begging you. I wish I had said something sooner. And if me and the 6 girls had spoken up, maybe there wouldn't be as many victims for the same man. I know it can be hard to tell people about that kind of stuff, but trust me, I know. But please, it's only hurting you potentially and hurting others if you keep quiet. Go out there and serve justice on a silver platter. This is how long the story was. My vocal cords now hurt, so I might want to do one of these once a week. I don't know. My vocals now hurt. Oh, God. Well, that was Rslash Nuclear Revenge. I hope y'all's enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.